One of my great loves, apart from working in the garden and permaculture and my orchards and stuff, which you see a lot on this channel, is woodworking. I've spent my whole life around woodworking, and something in the past couple of years that I've tried to incorporate is woodworking at home with my kids, with my family. But that really means that I need to do it in a little more family-friendly environment. You know, I'm working on a project with a loud chop saw or a table saw. My kids are not going to want to be around that. So I've learned how to do some woodworking by hand with, you know, hand saws, mallets, things like that. But one of the problems that I've encountered with anything I try to do is how to hold things still. How to cut something straight and true without the saw, you know, going everywhere. And so I made this Roman workbench, and I want to give you a couple of ideas and tips on a few things that might be helpful to you that are super easy and cheap, basically free even, and will help you hold some things still. So the first advantage of what's called a Roman workbench or a woodworker's bench is that you can kneel on it. It's about 18 to 20 inches tall, and make it to your own height. Everyone's got different knees. So you can kneel on it. You're kneeling on a piece of wood. Easy. You can also set it off to the side, kneel the other way, and rip it down the length. But sometimes you want to work on things, you know, on the very top edge of something. So I made the bench out of some old 6x6 pine that I found, and the first thing I did was I cut this notch here and made a little wedge. Just knock it out, just a piece of spruce, and you can take your piece, put it in there at any angle really, tap it in, and now that is so tight you can lift up the entire bench. And that allows you to cut, to group, to screw, whatever you need without it traveling around. Really, really useful. I love that little wedge. If you want to take it out, just tap it again. Comes right out. It's pretty handy. The next thing I did, a tip for you, go to the hardware store, get yourself some dowels. These are 5/8 inch, 4-inch wide dowels, and you can put them in holes. Now it's kind of like a, I think it's a dog clamp or a dog hold down on a typical workbench. This works in a similar way, but you can, where they go? If you need to work on the edge of a piece, put one here, and another say right there, clamp it between it. That helps hold it upright. So you're trying to straighten an edge that you just ripped down. Hold it. Much easier to hold it up than trying to just balance it with your hand, but the problem is you've still got to clamp it to keep it from running away from you. So, build yourself a fence. This is my fence. Countersink some holes in there. Stick it on a couple of those dowels. Now you got a fence you can push against. Much more useful. The next step, I think by order of priority, if you're trying to do things, you know, in order, is this little thing. Now, I have no idea what this is called. I've seen it online before. I just made it this afternoon. I haven't even done the research to figure out what it's called. Just some scrap cherry. But this little thing here is the magic. When you push on that, it closes. So now, set it down in place. And you can design it based on whatever thickness you need to accommodate. So this can accommodate from 2 inches wide to about, you know, 1/8 inch wide. And it just pushes, and it holds itself. Give it a little tap, and that really ain't going anywhere. If you want, take a piece of scrap and brace the bottom end so it's straight. And now you can work on the edge without even touching it at all. All the way down. And what I love about this little jig too, just tap it to get it out, is that it's portable. You know, you might not be able to take the whole jig to a job site or a friend's house, but you can take this. And that will be an absolute lifesaver when it comes to edge work. And when you're done with it, just hang it on the wall somewhere. Ta-da! So that's a couple of tips to give you an idea of what I'm working on, what I'm still learning. If you've got tips, if you've got tricks, let me know. But for right now, you need to go away because I'm going to cook some steak for my wife.